So, I think that I do want to store information about what sort of output has just been requested with the project. So that in theory, you could run this program separately, passing just a project name, a full project file name. Am I right about this? And it could just look inside the project and have information about what file to store. And I think that I'll put it here, and it will be field render single bool equals whatever, true, and field render name string equals did. So, with all this other information, it'll know just whether or not, it's rendering a single frame based on the preview position and all these details, as well as, where's the draw type? Yep. Which will evolve. There are changes to make to these as well. But anyway, so it'll know, or if it's rendering a full animation, based on how many frames, how many loops, how many recursions, all that stuff. And it'll know where to put it. And I'll just straight off make it save and load these things. It's not good. It is not going to... Okay, right. np render single equals... I'm sure I don't need to do this, but I do it anyway. It's a reminder to me that some activity's happening here. fs read int and np render name equals fs. Now what do I have been using? Yeah, C strings. I think that's worked okay. Read C string. And when I save it, fs write int cast. That's really stupid what I'm doing there, isn't it? I'm casting it into a bool. I'm casting a boolean into a boolean. Am I being daft? Shouldn't I be doing it this way around? And obviously that demonstrates what I'm doing is just not necessary. Anyway, render single and fs write C string. So when render is called, or when the process is opened, the thing that gets passed is a project, and inside the project it will find the information about what to actually do. Yeah. So that means that I need a couple of things. One is how to get... I really, I will be fumbling around for a second here because I need to figure out. It's not Win32, is it? Yeah, maybe it is. Well, that's get command line width. Is it? Is that no W string? What is it? Well, what's a W string? Unfortunately, go to definition is not doing what I want. Okay. Lots of Windows string. Windows string? Can I just get a... Okay, well, I guess what I do is I test. Can I just cast a bool, a window string into a bool, cast a window string into a string? Okay. Local in string equals cast string of get what was it? Command line. Oh, do I need to using Win32? Man. Open process. I don't know really what I'm doing here. Let me see. Supply message ignore. Okay, well, I am not super informed. No, I really... I don't make a lot of sense of this. Anyway, no, I'm not getting a lot of sense of that. I still think that's probably what I want, unfortunately. Unfortunately, because I don't understand. And I don't think... like... I can't just sit here on cam and look through all this source. I find myself enjoying looking through the source more than just referring to the docs, because really the docs are from the source, and looking through them is reminiscent of looking through the source. But in this case, I'm so sure that must be what I'm looking at. And I want get command line W. And it's probably going to say what? I mean, I think it can't possibly just say what, can it? Because here I am in main. It's about to allow me to open a window. Okay, so now print in. I don't have debug right. Debug right is somewhere like this. Stupid, isn't it? Main cursor window. debug right is debug is in db, I guess. That was very... So I guess I do want db, and I guess I can debug right. What will happen? Will it come to here? Oh man, now that I think about it, maybe that is std out, if you get me. The other thing I was thinking is std out is, I believe, how I'll communicate back to my main code that the state of the render. I already have these things: normal state, waiting state. I did begin to build this before and it didn't work very well, but that's fine. At least I kind of have this structure so I can look back at it. So what I actually want to think now is what actually happens when you click a button, and do I just want to kind of make things easy on myself and break down the GUI immediately, get the recursor code out immediately? I think it'll speed up my editing for starters. I'm at 11. I could probably get the GUI stuck in. This is just some weird random stuff at the start. This stuff at the start is to do with changing the state, the overall state of the recursor program. Anyway, all GUI things, all required. And then there's this little bit of the, which, what does this stuff really refer to? The stuff below is kind of like the integration between the GUI and the project. You know what I mean? Do I know what I mean when I say that? This stuff relates exactly to the GUI. It's just the GUI objects. This stuff is information that the GUI does use, in a sense, to update itself and everything. But yeah, I think overall I will keep this. And what I guess the bulk of the recursor class will become are these functions. I'll keep this structure, but the bulk of the recursor class will become are these functions that do specific things to the set, or the output, set the output width, you know. Well, actually it's mainly about setting the output. The stuff you do to the set is all managed in Workzone more. Anyway, so let's just shave the GUI out. Let's create something all the way down here. Maybe should I just shave the render stuff out first? I think I will. And it starts up around here. These are insane to have. I'm using general and general space, haven't I? I include general. I don't say I'm using general space here, but I say I'm using general space surely everywhere else. General space. And I know I took this one from it. I'm using general space. I'm not importing yeah, that's recursor classes. That's okay. Here I'm importing general and importing recursor classes. Okay. General is bad, but it does have these things already set, because you know, I and many people have been using these things for years. I don't need to set them again in here. I'm setting them for an idiotic reason. Why am I going off into a rant about that? It's because preview curve points. Yeah. Let me look inside this is, where it becomes a slight problem. Preview curve point. Excuse me. Finish draw. Preview vertices and preview vertices transformed. Where does excuse me, preview position into preview vertices, yeah. Corner set to vertices. This takes a position through the animation and fills the vertices. Where on earth? Because I've got this bit, get preview curve. Do I use it in here? Yeah, PP. That's where I use it. I bet I don't use PP. I use PP entirely inside Worktop. Workzone has its own little version of the stuff that generates the code, the curve. Here it is. It's quite simple generating the curve, and this is done basically to avoid function calls as well. This could be a lot neater. These are just matrix multiplications. Anyway, it renders it into PP. So really PP is part of Workzone. And if PP is used anywhere inside this render gradient, or any of these bits, I will be disappointed in myself, because it's just not part of the rendering. Render OGL, and it draws curve OGL. Here, no sign of PP. I should obviously be using, this is the bit, where it renders the actual OGL, no sign of PP, and in here, no sign of PP. So PP is the first little thing which I will be pleased to move into Workzone. Oh, I hate all this stuff. I don't hate it, I kind of love it because I made it. But on the other hand, yuck. This does not need to exist. I can use okay, one thing at a time. PP, you little sucker. You do not belong in here. Where you belong is in among your huge group of horrible friends in Workzone. This is all the horrible people. Workzone has fields. I suppose it does have fields. Used to store the preview curve and preview curve points and preview vertices and transformed preview vertices. I need preview vertices and I need transformed preview vertices. Preview curve points is what I dump into. Preview curve PP is what I actually use here. It's just what I use. That generates the curve. I mean, very inefficiently, I'm calling, I think, get preview curve here, Okay, right. Sorry for the interruption. Yeah. I kind of want to get to the bottom of this little bit of this. 1 second. Right, I am not quite thinking about it. Get preview curve. Get preview curve fills in, yeah, the full preview curve. PP. I still feel like I could sort of slim this down a bit. I still actually don't quite see. This fills in PP. Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at this and I am... It fills in PP. What on earth happens to out? This is silly for me to be so stumped all of a sudden. But it's expecting an out. It just doesn't seem to do anything with out. It's called and finished draw. Using PC. Get the preview segments and transform them first. Use the transform preview segment to determine the preview curve. Draw the preview curve. Right, it totally ignores preview curve. This is the bit. Okay, right. Wow. I think I'll just stick with PP. I'll forget about it. And I'll call it update preview curve. And I'll rename PP PC, because PC is a better name for it. But it'll still be an array. Am I right about this? CC current corner, and I just basically ignore it. It's never used again. It's just used. Okay, right. Here's my little plan to eliminate. Well, first off, it's my little plan to start eliminating junk globals. Oh, there's a load of stuff to scroll past here. Junk globals from here. So preview vertices and preview curve and TV. What happens if I just get rid of that and get rid of that and put in global preview curve float equals new float 1 for whatever reason it did that. Origin out vector transformed. Preview vertices. Preview transform preview vertices. Now, do I even need preview vertices? I'm getting wound up in this now. I do use preview vertices, that doesn't mean I need them. I need to get back to finish draw. Right, okay. Get the preview segments, then use the segments. Okay, so I do need preview vertices because they refer, come on, they refer to the vertices for the main set of segments. Could be at any point in the animation. So it needs to figure them out so that it can generate the actual PC, which is now hang on a second. Preview curve. Am I telling myself that am I accidentally getting rid of an essential transformation? Right, no, I do the transformation here. I set the vertices and then I transform the vertices by world to screen. So then when I use those vertices to generate the preview curve, which no longer needs that because it's assumed, and I will call it update, and I'll change all these things at once, which will really help me. And this is going to use preview curve. Use preview curve is what now is the name of the thing. Updates array PC curve with current vert arrangement. Now this equals PC length. Okay. Update preview curve. You tell me it doesn't exist and you're quite right, but soon. And I do not need out vertices. I just need in vertices, because out vertices is never used again, and this, I feel like saying PC equals null, but I don't know if I can really do that. Preview curve like so, and preview curve, and down at the bottom for the last bit, preview curve and preview curve. Right. And then that's the end. That's the end of the work zone. So I haven't exactly cleaned it up that much. All these I don't think, like what happens if I just rem them straight out? What happens if I rem them straight out and have a look at it? Because I just had a quick hunt through all this and I don't think I actually used them. There are things I put in at one point thinking, oh man, that's going to be, got so much sums to do, I better write all this down, and actually it's just rubbish, I don't need them. I have a feeling it might be the same with that, not so sure about that one. These things, yeah, well I use them all. Don't use transformed sides at all ever anymore, and will hopefully never. That is a ridiculous thing to set. It's ridiculous. Wow. That can go. Hotspots will definitely never be needed again. Let me have a quick look down and see if I created any new errors. TV. Okay, well, a single little thing like that is not the end of the world. What's going to happen if I run it now? Can't believe it just managed to parse that. How am I doing? 31. I think this is worth doing. It's kind of donkey work. It'll make it easier for me to just understand what is and is not part of the actual rendering, because there are these overlaps with what the work zone's doing to generate the preview. The next thing, assuming this sort of works, still a lot of rubbish in the work zone, but I suppose it's running stuff in its way. Well, it ran. It's rendering. It looks completely fine. It's doing 5 recursions, and I have to have a display on screen that shows me more information about it. And it's doing dandy, running with the debugger off. Okay. That is a success. Now I can look again back here, which is the boundary between the end of the recursor functions and the beginning of the rendering. Oh, look, I've got a note. Things dedicated to rendering the curve. I keep on calling it a curve because I've seen people describe these, a single continuous set of segments as a curve, but maybe I'm wrong. What options do I have here? Render is what gets called. Am I kind of saying that these things are associated with all render? Because they're not really. These bits are more associated with gradient rendering. But basically, yeah, this makes its choice. This is a file name output it's wanting. So if I want to be a bit, not to say lazy, but I want to just pluck this out and pop it into rrender. I suppose these things are just like outside globals. Need some horrible things I see. Oh no, that's okay. That means I need my mojo. Darn it. Do I really want to do that? I don't need my mojo, I just need mojo. Because here I don't use my own commands, I use mojo's straightforward draw render gradient. What a mess this bit is. Render OGL, draw curve OGL, and draw curve OGL is all the way down here like an idiotic place. But I'm using your standard canvas. So I don't need my mojo, I can use mojo. But what else? Look at all this horrible stuff. Makes me feel quite sick to look at it, but I suppose that's the point of this. right. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to say all you. And you. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. And you to there. You're coming with me, and you're kind of just getting dumped right down in here. Yeah, a bit of space. Let's say, take that. You know what I really should have done is something equivalent to a fork at this point. But it's not what I've done. Just at this exact point is the time. Because at this point it runs. What's that? It's nothing, you fool. So our render now has all of that stuff in it. I don't have to kind of think about it too hard. Our render's not, it's a totally separate piece of code. Okay, so at this point actually I've been going for 37 minutes. So I'm going to stop it, back up, well, make a backup, just make a copy of it, because I want to be able to go quickly back to the old version if I want to have a look, not just stuck in my backups. And then I'm going to do the thing I've just done next time.